Hello, everybody. Welcome to another reading vlog. In this one, we are trying to read every library loan that I currently have out physically. If I added in the ebooks and the audiobooks, we'd be done for. But the vlog went very well, if I do say so myself. And before we dive into it, I do need to really quickly thank the sponsor of today's video, which is Hungry Root. Hungry Root is a grocery subscription box that I have really been enjoying. I have really loved getting a bunch of different new groceries to try from them, but also getting meals and things that I have liked in the past, and they're so easy to make. Like, they are such quick, fast meals, which is also obviously such a plus. It's kind of like having someone take care of the weekly grocery shopping, taking into consideration your taste, like I said, your nutrition preferences and health goals, and then delivering it to your front door. To get started, you tell them a little bit about your goals and what you prefer, and they will fill your cart with personalized recommendations that only get smarter the more that they learn about what you liked or didn't love. For a limited time, get 40% off your first box, plus get a free item in each box for life. Click the link below or go to hungryroot.com and use code oliviareadsalatte. That's 40% off your first box and a free item of your choice for life at hungryroot.com with code oliviareadsalatte. Thank you so much to Hungry Root for sponsoring this portion of the vloggy vlog. And now let's get into the rest of it. In the library, Hello, you guys. I went to the library and I have this big old bag of books that we are going to go through because we are going to be doing a very nice. We're going to be doing a reading vlog based with all these books. It's just going to be reading all my library books in rapid succession because so many came in. How many? Well, I have a bunch over there too, but 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I guess we're going to try to read maybe 6 books in 7 days. Based on what the books are, I actually do think we could do it. I do. The only other thing I'm doing right now is filming. I mean, I am filming 2 other videos, but that's fine. The Patreon book club book video. But other than that, that's like a cute little romance. I really think we could definitely do this. The first book that I already have, this is the one that I've started. I want to keep reading. Ascension. I think this is, I know it's a thriller, but the little like kind of explanation before the actual synopsis is a research team hunts for answers only to find they are being hunted themselves in this mind-bending thriller. And so far what I've read is some guy's brother went missing 29 years ago and he was like a scientist. So we will see about this one. I would like to continue reading that today. And then the next books that I grabbed, I have The Housemaid is Watching by Frida McFadden. This is the 3rd book in that series. I am kind of shocked at how big this book is. I don't know why. I've never seen there be a hardcover of this, but I really wanted to read it physically. I'm in a physical book reading mood. I don't want to look at a screen, even like an e-ink screen. So that is that one. And then I have A Serial Killer's Guide to Marriage in my hands once more. This seems to be more of like a cozy kind of vibe. So we will see. But on the back it says a couple that slays together, stays together. And I love that. But also, why is Hugh Grant blurbing? Hugh Grant. An invaluable manual that I return to again and again. Hugh Grant. Okay, Hugh Grant. Then I have Libba Bray's newest release, Under the Same Stars. I am very excited for this. The Diviners is one of my favorite series. I do want to reread it at some point. But it takes place in 3 times, I think. New York City, 2020, West Berlin, 1980, Kleinwald, Germany, 1939. So we'll see about this one. I don't know too much, and I don't want to. I just want to go right on into it. I love Libba Bray's writing. Always a good time. I also have a thriller that I'm very, very excited about. This is The Inheritance. It just looks like a rich person drama, mainly because it's about someone's inheritance. Most family reunions end in tears. This one will end in mid. Ooh, perfect. So there's that one. And then the final book is The Good Detective. This is by the same author who wrote, I have it right here, Head Cases, which I read and really, really enjoyed earlier on. So I would also like to read this one. I will say on the scheme of things, this is like the lowest one in my ranking. Just because the other ones are newer and people are in line for them. So I want to get to them sooner because they have like less renewals on them, because obviously people are in line and they want to get their hands on it, which I understand. So yeah, those are the books that I have that I would, and there goes one of them. Ha ha ha. Great. Ooh. But yeah, those are 6. And last time I think I read, was it 5 books in 5 days? Or is it 6 or 7 in 7? I don't know. Something like that was when I very first got my library card. Like over a year ago when I was obsessed. You couldn't get me away from the library. So I'm bringing that back because I was going through a time when that was happening. And currently I feel like, listen, am I right? Aha. Yeah, I'm all right. So I am going to start here because I think this literally has, I'll have to find out, but an enormous snow-covered mountain has appeared in the Pacific Ocean, and no one knows how to explain its existence. Then a scientist of mysterious phenomena is contacted by a shadowy organization to help investigate. He has no idea what him and his team are getting into. Yep. Framed by the discovery of Harold's unsent letters to his family and the chilling and provocative story they tell, Ascension considers the limitations of science and faith and examines both the beautiful and the unsettling side of human nature. Sure, girl. I just think it's like a cool kind of sci-fi thriller kind of vibe going on. And then after that, I don't know where we'll get up to next, but we'll go somewhere. But right now, I really want to shower and do my skincare. Kind of refresh a little bit. Go get a liquid IV made. And then we will continue on our journey of this book. All of these books are very short for me. They're like all under 400 pages. So I definitely think we could do this. This mission can be accomplished, but we must start. We must start now. Hello, you guys. I have started this. My hair looks crazy, but we are not changing it. I'm not going to rebraid it because I'm not going anywhere. And it always looks best when I braid it for 2 days. So she's still cooking. Leave it be. This is so intriguing. So from what I think I told you guys, all I knew is a mountain popped up. Like a singular mountain. Like it's like if just Everest popped up in the middle of the Pacific Ocean. Okay. That's kind of what everything's going around. However, what we're reading is essentially a novelized version of all these letters from the scientist who went missing. And he wrote a bunch of letters back to his niece, I think is the relation there. And someone found them and put them all together and put them in a book to be published. And there's a prologue that would act as the prologue to beginning of that book. I just love when it's like we're basically reading the book that they're talking about. Do you know what I'm saying? So it's like a book was published and we are reading the book that would have been put out in this fictional world. But it's in our world. Obviously, this mountain didn't pop up that I know of. Could be classified. Don't know. But it's so good. It's so good and intriguing, and the writing style is so good so far. I'm just very intrigued. I've only read 50 pages, but I read 50 pages in 30 minutes, which for me is very quick. I typically read a page a minute-ish, maybe sometimes a little faster once I kind of get into the book, you know. It also really depends on the genre, but because this is like a sci-fi, I would say this is more of a thriller with sci-fi elements so far. I don't know that I'd say it's a sci-fi thriller. I definitely think thriller goes first. And it kind of reminds me, just so far, in the same vein as De-Evolution, that Max Brooks book, or I don't know, kind of in the realm of like a Jurassic Park, kind of like a Mira Grant-esque book where it's got a lot of science to it, and it's a thriller. It's like how Dan Brown is all like historical religious thrillers. This is like a scientific thriller, I would say. And I'm really enjoying it so far. So I'm going to go probably see about dinner, to be honest, because did I just wake up from an accidental afternoon nap? Yeah, I did, surely. And I need to eat. I need sustenance. And then we're going to get back into this. I also need to find the remote for this TV because I'm trying really hard to be mindful about not using screens that are like my phone or my laptop if I don't need to. Because I'll tell you what, this weather is driving me a bit bonkers because it is like 18 degrees a few days ago and now it's 60 degrees outside. How am I and my respiratory meant to function in such a brutal environment? No, but truly, I am someone that gets headaches and I get like sick. It's not like really sick, but it's, I don't really have allergies. Like there's not a specific thing, but the weather being crazy will get me just right there and I'm gone. And that's what's happening. So how annoying. I know. Oh, rough time for me. But also it kind of means that spring is coming, which means Annabeth is coming. And if you are new and you have not been here since my tortoise went into brumation, which is reptilian hibernation, you would think that Annabeth coming is like kind of a threat, and it's not. She just eats me out of house and home with all that lettuce and stuff. But that is my tortoise who is currently brumating, hibernating in the garage. And she goes down in about October, comes back in about April, late March. So we're almost there, y'all. We're almost there. And I got to get the indoor enclosure prepped again for her for the storms because apparently we're going to have a pretty rough storm season here, which is not upsetting to me. I do indeed love thunderstorms. I don't love tornadoes because of the damage and whatnot. I do love the thunderstorms that we'll have in spring and summer, though. I just love like a hot thunderstorm. It's just great. I can't explain it to you. It's just in my blood. So I'm going to go get a burger, a veggie burger, and this is going to be what we do for the evening. And we're going to see if we can finish this book today because I have I know that I had 5 books on the TBR I wanted to finish, but I want to prioritize the books that have to go back to the library first, which is Under the Same Stars and A Serial Killer's Guide to Marriage. So those will be up next after Ascension. So we have our next 3. Let's get into it. I finished the book. I literally just sat here and had breakfast and my coffee for the day and finished this book this morning. I read until like 11 p.m. last night, which my bedtime is 9, so y'all already know. But on Sundays, sometimes I stay up a little bit later and read. And this book was the wrong book to read before bedtime, let me tell you. I loved this. I think this is 5 stars. I'm getting that 5-star feeling right off the bat. It was so intriguing. I love when history and science is brought into books in this way. Another one that does this, y'all are probably tired of me talking about her, but I'm never going to stop. I don't have the tiny mic, I just realized. Oh well, oh darn. I love Deborah Harkness. I do. Did I love Shadow of Night? It wasn't my favorite, but what I did love of it was the history. And I attended one of her signings. Well, it was not really a signing because you got a signed book while you're there, but she didn't sign them, but she spoke and did pictures and all that fun stuff. So I attended one of her speaking events, let's say, and she talked about how she loves to play with history. She doesn't like to bend the facts, like the things that we know for sure happened. She doesn't like to mess with those, but she likes to toy around in the smudgy areas, the areas where it's like it could have been this, it could have been this, or it could have been this thing. And she always seems to choose the this thing where it's like, oh, actually, this scientist, he was brilliant, but he was a daemon, or he was a witch, or a wizard, or a warlock, or whatever they call, and he was a vampire, something like that. I love that. I think it's so cool. It's so fun. It's like those tiny little areas in between reality where you can kind of like slip in some magic. I love that. This book did that too. It was very fleshed out science. Do I know if all of this is true? No. Am I familiar with some of the theory? Yes. But like this book is existing solely in physics theory, and theory is something that's really hard for me to wrap my head around because it's not like attainable in that you can not touch it or whatever. But with, just time, dimensions, reality, religion, how that plays into it, like all of the things because this is all about physics. Oh my God. It was so cool because it essentially took the physics theories and said, okay, but what if those are real, but in this way with this thing on this mountain that pops up out of nowhere? Like, what then? And it's so cool. I can't really get any further into it past that because really, that it has something to do with physics, obviously, because he's a physicist that gets recruited onto this mission. So there's something there that they're wanting him to explore. But I'm not going to say definitely what it is he's exploring because that's really fun, I feel, to unravel for yourself. And the way that this was told through found letters, it's the same way I feel about a found footage movie. I eat it up every time. I eat it up every single time. It's just so good. It is so good. It was so fun. It was very existential. I was really like, wow, what is life actually? Just wondering. And last night wasn't the best time to read this. I don't think this is a bedtime book. I'm going to be really honest with y'all because it had me questioning everything. And then also scared because there's just a lot going on in this mountain. I'm going to tell you that. So I would highly recommend this. This was so good. So good. What a book to kick this off with. I say we go get into some murder now, though. So let's go get our next book and put this one up. Hello. Oh, okay. Where are you going? What's going on? Hello, party people. You know that feeling of getting home from work and you're just like, oh, my bed. That's how I feel. I am an in-the-bed person. And I've realized that I have pants on, I promise, but they're just shorts because it's like springtime here. I am gooped. I'm gagged. I'm so happy. And also I took a shower like as soon as I stepped in the door because duh. And then my roots are drying. But I realized I am out of the house a lot this week. Actually, more than I think I have been all year so far. And I don't know why I decided that would be the best time to try to read 6 books in such a short time. But nonetheless, we prevail. And by that I mean I'm going to do a lot of extra reading this weekend because I am still on my second book. I'm reading A Serial Killer's Guide to Marriage. I have not yet broke 100 pages in here, but I have got enough. Usually I do the first 50 if the book is 300 pages or around there, and then the first 100 pages if the book toes closer to like 600 pages long. So if you're ever curious about how long I read before I do my first check-in, it's usually that, because I will read that and then I will compare what I've read to the synopsis and then come here and let y'all know what the book is about. So in this one, we have 2 people that were both serial killers before they got married to each other because they were both serial killers and in love with each other, serial killing. And love it. It was very Dexter kind of killings. So, we can toss them to the side. They're more for fun. I would like a more Mr. and Mrs. Smith spy vibe, but I suppose I can go watch the movie if I want to see that. So they had that going for them. Living La Vida Loca, having the best time. And then she got pregnant and they had a baby. I would say that's the craziest thing so far because it wasn't planned. And they are living it up in England, suburbia. So what I'm gathering, the problem is he is live, laugh, loving being dad of the year. He wanted to be Ripper of the year, but now he's dad of the year. That's great. Now that I just said Ripper of the year, I'm literally going to be picturing Stefan and Caroline as the characters. Even though this man has blonde hair, and I'm like, the only blonde-haired person I know is a Skarsgård. And I guess that would work. He would probably be a serial killer too. Have y'all seen Big Little Lies? If you haven't, for real, you should go watch that. That wasn't a spoiler because it was literally a lie, but not the big little one. Okay. But she wants to keep slicing and dicing. So I think she's going to figure out a way to do that. And from what I read on the flap, that happens. And it's the aftermath of that having occurred. Because he's like, that was the past, babe. That's not like us anymore. And she's like, sometimes I get a good feeling. Oh, I am currently, though, rewatching last week's episode of Beverly Hills because the new one comes on at 7. So, obviously, I've got to be ready for that. And I'm going to keep reading my book whilst I do that because, of course I am. I do need to update my book journal, though, as well. And I'm currently filming, like, a bookish vlog because I did some unboxings, some setting up of things, and then I need to do my journal. So maybe we'll look into that. I really prefer covers because I'm trying not to print out the covers. I really want to draw them again because I like the style. I mean, I don't have a style. I copy the cover. But I like this doodle vibe. It's really not a drawing. It's definitely like a poorly done doodle. Like your kid would bring it home and you'd be like, oh my god, Johnny, slay. We'll put it on the fridge. Very nice. Is it an elephant? Oh, it's a skyscraper in London. Okay. Looks the exact same, babe. Perfect. That's kind of the vibe. But this I love because it's just a silhouette of someone and then lettering. So, easy. Done. Anyways, I'm gonna go do that. I just got another text from the librarians. Yeah, we're kind of best friends. And they let me know that, their automated system let me know that I have another loan ready to be picked up. Bruh. I've got to stop placing library holds after I have my sleepy time tea. It's just willy-nilly I place these holds, and I guess I'll go pick it up this weekend. Hello, everybody, and good morning. What the heck? My little ring is telling me all about my sleep last night, and apparently it was giving flop. Oh, yes, that'd be because I slept for 6 hours. And that is true, which is why I'm in the bed, because I'm about to go back to bed. But the reason I went to bed at 1 a.m., good morning, how are you? I'm hanging in there, was because I was finishing A Serial Killer's Guide to Marriage. And I will say, this book was not necessarily good. I mean, it was fine. I gave it a 3.5. And my middle of the road is a 2.5. So obviously, better than average. Great. But I can't really put my finger on here what was missing. But there was just something here. I don't know. But it was dark humor. If you like dark comedy, if you like a dark humor kind of book, I would recommend. I flew through it. It was a fun little time. I mean, I literally read this almost in a day. So, let that be your sign to also try it out. It was a good little time. I would recommend from the library, though. Just because I don't even know what kind of genre to pitch this as. Because it was kind of like a fiction, but with thriller elements. I mean, they're both Dexter-like serial killers working through marital issues. I don't know. It was kind of all over the place, but not in completely a bad way, I think. And then I'm going to start, when I am back into consciousness, I'm going to start Under the Same Stars by Libba Bray. This will be my last read, aside from the Patreon book club read for this month. I don't know how long this is, but this is just due back at the library soon, so I gotta get on it. It's 467 pages, so definitely doable in these last few days. I think we have 3 days left. Today, tomorrow, and Friday. Yeah, so I will be, hopefully, finishing this one off. We'll try to get like a third of the way through today. I feel like that mathematically adds up. But if we can get further, that would be good too. I won't be mad at that. I should look at who the narrator is for this, because if it's the same person that narrates the Diviner series, I might have to get that audiobook because it's so good. But I will check on that later. For now, I gotta go back to bed. What are you doing, little guy? Hello, guys. I have not made a matcha in forever, and I am catching up on some of my channels that I enjoy, and I need to make a matcha. They're all matcha girls. I'm also a matcha girl, but I always forget because I just am so used to making coffee. But we're gonna get my little slug cup out. I think it's the cutest thing ever. I always think of this Skyward series whenever I grab that mug because Doomslug, naturally. Whoa. Ginger just like teleported right next to me. That was freaky. The horse is here. Okay, let us make the matcha And then we're going to get to starting the new Libba Bray book, which I'm so excited for. The secret ingredient. A matcha just really signals that spring is here. Why did I sound like that? I don't know, but I stand by it. Not the accent. I don't know what that was. But spring is here. I'm dying. I'm declaring it such. I'm so freaking over winter, dude. I have news. I looked on Libra FM to see if the same narrator is there, and girl, would you know, January Lavoie is here. So I actually didn't realize I already had the audiobook from this like influencer ALC. You get like audiobooks a month early or something like that. They have it also for educators and librarians. So if you want to look into getting that, I do recommend. It's obviously a great perk. But I am having such like an upset stomach right now, and I have Pilates in 45 minutes. So if everyone could just bow their head and pray for past me to make it through. Because it's not feeling like that's going to happen. Just kidding. It obviously is. But I just did a bunch of editing. I edited this Fourth Wing spoiler-filled Iron Flame Fourth Wing vlog thing for Patreon. And that it's exporting now. Let me tell you, 4K export is crazy. But anyways, worth it because it is crystal clear-ish, sometimes mostly. But I'm in the mood for a good audiobook, I realized. I just want that for me. So I'm probably going to follow along with the book, but I may... Do I want to cross-stitch, actually? I just did the Anthony Mackie smile. Like I know something. And you will too, soon. But I think that I want to do a cross-stitch. I have been doing cross-stitch bookmarks, and I really want to build up a collection of those. So that's the plan there. But I wanted to let you know what my plan was for this. So I'm going to... Actually, why don't we just go ahead and play it now? Oh, it's very serious music. Sounds like the beginning of a podcast. But yeah, there we go. I will see you on the other side. Oh my god. Alert the press. Alert the press. We have a 5-star read on our hands, buddies. Let's get into it. Oh, good God. Oh, good God is right, actually. So, Pilates finished me, but I'm finishing this Smoothie King smoothie, and then we're getting right back into this. Oh, buddy. Okay. So this is gonna make me cry. Alright? This is gonna hurt. This is gonna hurt real bad. So, we are following two young girls who are in 1939 Germany. So, there's that. There's a lot of talk about the rise of propaganda and how quickly people slip in to a hive mind thinking that they were just told to think. Don't know if that sounds relevant to you, but it does to me. So there's that storyline. We're already getting into it. They're doing some witchy stuff in the forest, living their little tween life. Then we have Berlin as well. One girl, Jenny from the block, specifically from Dallas, Texas.
you know, the blog. And she has just moved to Berlin, West Berlin, because it's 1980. So that's still there. And I don't know what she's doing. We haven't really seen anything else from her. And then we have two people who are friends who are investigating together during the 2020 lockdown in New York City the two girls from the 1940s timeline via an article that one of the friends found from her grandmother sending it to her. Oh, I love it so much. It's so good. I'm having such a good time. I knew Libba Bray was going to do this. I knew Libba Bray was going to just evoke so many emotions and just make me want to gobble this book up in a day. And by God, we just might do that. Because literally, I'm going to edit together the Read It or Unhaul It really quick. I'm going to upload this almost 3-hour long reading vlog for the patrons. And then I am just going to listen to this book and probably cry. And I'm pretty excited about it. I love to cry while reading, you guys. I do. And I was just watching one of my Australian girlies, and she had just read The Nightingale for their book club, and I said, I'm gonna go grab that. And then I found another one too. And I've been using thrift books to buy these because it's online used books. And I've just really been liking used books for cozy mysteries or fiction. I just love that. So, yeah, there's all my updates. I'm so happy. I'm just so happy right now. I needed this. I needed this. I needed a book that was going to make me feel the feels. And I wasn't sure what it was going to be. Because I also just love the way Libba Bray writes in general. I mean, she does YA so well. She does YA so well. Because she keeps in mind the actual target audience. And I love that. I love that. More people should do that. We should all do that. Collectively, as one. Hold my hand. Make me a promise. We're all going to remember target audience. And I love YA. I do. I love it with my whole heart. It's just so great. It really is. Especially when it's done right. And I love historical books with a fantastical element. I don't know that I would fully call this historical fantasy. Maybe historical low fantasy. I don't know. Is that a thing? Let's throw it in there. It works. Here we go. It's now a thing. I love it. And the topics, I just love that she is like, no, we're still going to go there thematically and tonally. Like, hello. The kids are all right. They can understand. Thank you. I love that. And it's just important. Duh. Hello. So, I'm going to get this computer work done so I don't have to look at the screen for many moments longer. And then, it's you and me, kid. You, me, and my bookmark cross stitch, because I'm going to cross stitch the... Want to say hi? Oh, she's busy. Sorry, y'all.
So, a lot has gone on since I last talked to y'all. We have gotten into this book. And let me tell you, absolutely, I'm getting the 5-star vibage from it. It is just so good. It is so bingeable. Like, I just don't want to put it down. I cannot stop playing it. The only time I stopped listening to it today, I listened to it this morning in the car. I had to pause it because I have to listen to the instructions in Pilates or I won't know what's happening. And then in the car on the way home, I paused it when I picked up the smoothie. And then I've paused it when I finished editing. And then now we are back into it. And I am... Speak your truth, Ginger. Oh, what an angle. Okay, sorry. There was a a brief ginger interlude there. But she says, "You're welcome." So, you are indeed welcome. I have made it 40% into this book. Pretty much just the audio's been on all day. And I did a little cross stitch, but honestly, I just wanted to sit with this book in front of me. Now, I'm going to go through the timelines in which I am most intrigued. I am really in a historical mood. So I am liking the more historical thing. I don't know. Something about the 80s is not very historical to me. I'm like, that was like yesterday. That's right around the corner. The 2020 year timeline, though, is intriguing because that feels like a blur and a half. I'll tell you what. It really does. And just the topics of just how people behaved before, behaved during, and now behave. It's just interesting. And like clearly it's in 2020. So the character there is not referencing what's currently happening, but the lead up is being referenced. Like things don't happen overnight. Which is also being talked about in the 1939. Now, in the 1981, it's a lot about the Berlin Wall, and it's a very coming-of-age story for Miss Jenny, and I love that for her. I'm just not as drawn to it, not going to lie, but what I am, I'm not drawn to her, like, coming-of-age moment. I am drawn to, she has been talking, is it Herman? An older woman who lives in the same building as her. And she's been talking to her. And I find that interesting. Y'all know, I like that dynamic. I like her getting, like, different perspective on things. Especially being, like, American, moving to this country and seeing firsthand some things. I think that is also interesting. I do wonder. I'm having theories of how all of this ties in together, and I don't know if I'm correct, obviously. I think they are. I think all three timelines are going to tie in as one thing. And, well, not really, but there's going to be a single thread that runs through them all, you know. And I am interested to see how that comes about. But I'm just going to put this puppy right back on and get to listen and get to reading some more. I really am just laying here with it playing in my ears and reading this physically with my eyeballs. That's what I call an immersion read. I love it. I think it's like one of my favorite ways to read, especially I like doing it with historical because most of the historical that I read takes place in a different country with a different language. And so I like to have the pronunciation occurring within my ears because I don't know how to say anything. I really don't. It's a miracle I'm pronouncing these words right. And some people would argue I'm not because got a little razzle dazzle on him. You know what I'm saying? But fantasy is another good one. Sci-fi is a real good one. Love an immersion read with a sci-fi book. But just like regular fiction, nah, I'll read it. I got it. Don't worry about it. This was really good. And Libba Bray's audiobooks are always real good. They're always real good. And the narrator does the accent so well. I'll say the male narrator has grown on me. It's because that character has grown on me. I love the way that character is exploring his identity and like what he wants to do in the situations that he's in. And I just think this book is so like I don't want to be that reviewer because it already has a Good Morning America sticker on it. So, you know, I'm sure they also called it this. But it is so timely. The topics, the things we're talking about. Honestly, I feel like a lot of this is timely at any time. I really do, but right now especially. And I love it. I think it's written beautifully. All these characters feel so real. Y'all know I love the Diviners, but the Diviners, there was a more like kind of broad theme in that, I feel. But this is very like, no, you know what we're talking about. You know what we're talking about. We're going to talk about it. Whether you like it or not, let's talk. And I like that. And it's also not perfect. It's a little messy with like people actually being human and unlearning things and realizing things. And I think that's important to also bring to the table with this, because that's the reality. Not, I mean, not a single person's perfect. Hello? Except for Ginger. She's got it down pat, but she also patented it, so you can't have it anymore. She is a corporate queen. Okay, she's gonna make sure you can't copyright her. But I'm gonna get back to it. So, I'll see you on the other side. I may finish it. I don't even know. I do think this is gonna be my second to last book for the month, so we may take a detour, finish up the Patreon book club book, and then I think we're gonna hit up Miss Frida McFadden next. I'm already eyeing it over there. It's just calling my name. It's just Olivia, Olivia. It's gonna be chaos. And then I might read The Inheritance, because it's gonna be a well-written thriller. How do I know that, you ask? Because I'm comparing it to Frida McFadden. Hello? Almost just called her Frida McFraudulent. My bad. When I was at Barnes, though, I was looking for Foundry Side, but I didn't. I heard, I'm eavesdropping, but I heard with my little ears, someone talking about how they had liked The Housemaid by Frida until they read Liv Constantine, whatever that lady wrote. It's two of them, I think. And then they were like, and that was when I realized. I was like, what'd you realize? And then they walked away and I didn't know. But I already know. That's where she gets the name, Frida McFraudulent. But look it up. Google schmoogle. Go down a little rabbit hole, if you will. The audiobook started. Don't do that to me. Anyways, I do want to find a copy of this that I want, because I think I want to own this book. But I really wanted it to be the same height as my Diviner series. And this is like a very typical YA book size, which is fine. It's okay. Who am I reassuring, myself or you? But I would like a taller copy, just to matchy match and to have all of my Libba together. It would be ideal. Hello guys, I am just about to head up to school, so that is why it's dark outside and it is early and I look so sleepy because, well, I only stayed up till 9, but that's an hour past my bedtime on the weekdays, and I finished this all in one day, and it was a full 5 stars. This was phenomenal. I can't even really find the words. I can't even put in exactly, Ginger. Exactly. It was so good. I highly, highly, highly recommend everybody read this. First of all, I love that Libba Bray understands YA can talk about anything. It's all just really about the depth that it goes into that is the ranging difference. But it still can. And this does. It doesn't shy away from anything, but it still remains like perfectly fine to go put on the classroom bookshelves right now. Like, it is peak YA. It's everything. Like, it is. I just love this so much. It's got this magical feeling to the historical timeline, but it's not like fantasy straight up, and I loved that. I think every timeline became very interesting the more and more they unraveled alone, but then slowly wove their way together as one big thing. And there were so many quotes in here that I was just like, Libba, 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 Miss Bray. It was so good. So this is absolutely going on my list. I have a running list of books I want to buy, and I'm trying to buy them secondhand, but sometimes, like, honestly, because I just want this for my collection, I don't really need to get it right now. I'm holding out that, like, Fairy Loot does a special edition, or someone does. If y'all know of a book box that has one, please let me know. Because I know that these sprayed edges, but I want, like, a different cover. I don't love this cover. Like, I like it, but it's not my favorite. I just think something to do with the tree. And, like, there's a map behind here. I like that. It's just, oh, you guys, this was so good. And yeah, I cried. Yeah, I cried. What are you worried about? I cried. And there's, like, multiple twists and turns at the end, which I was not expecting. I didn't think this was going to be, like, a little mystery to unravel. But it was. And it was so good. So, highly recommend. Gonna have to tell you to go read this. I don't know where my next book is, but we're starting The Housemaid is Watching. And one of y'all commented that it's disturbing. And that the main character must... Oh, it's right here. And that Miss Millie must be, like, the dumbest girl on the planet. And to be honest, I probably, after the first book, would have been like, I'm retiring. But here we are, book 3. I don't know. Who's on the back of here? Anna Wong had something to say. Sarah Pekkanen. I do need to catch up on Miss Sarah Pekkanen's books. Natalie Borelli. I don't know that author. You know what I have enjoyed? I have enjoyed her other books more outside this series, but her writing is just easy to binge and fun. It just is. So maybe I'll read The Inmate next. I need to put a hold at the library for that, but I'm gonna go put this up and get to work. Did you need to say? Oh, she said good morning. Oh, she's asking y'all to take her sock off. She says it's a... What did you say? A foot prison. Okay. Okay. That seems real. Okay. And she wants you guys to all have a good day. And to make sure to keep her in mind. Okay, no, they cannot all bring you a treat. That would literally be so many treats, the house would be full. I know you fail to see the problem, but it would be a problem, girl. There you go, there you go. Hello? 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 Okay, so I have started The Housemaid is Watching. Our girl has just moved into her first house. She's so excited, oh my god. And we already have a weird neighbor. I'm only 21 pages in, but I started this at work today, and I'm just gonna read this tonight, I think. I need something lighter. I usually love theme-heavy books. I love thinky books, but sometimes I want not a thought near my brain. And because I have come home... Oh, yeah. I want to eat that, read this, no thoughts, just vibes. We also have Cokes in the house for once. It's an exciting time to be alive. And then I'm debating if I want to get my first book on here. I kind of do. The only letdown so far of the Kobo, I'll tell you what, is that I can't add multiple
library accounts. I have multiple library cards because Texas, hey, if you're a resident or if you have an address here, you can get multiple library cards. Like, I think it's the Harris County one lets you, maybe Dallas. Austin you have to pay for, but worth it. To be honest, they have so much there. You can get all of these library cards even if you're not living there. That's fantastic. Love that. So I have that. But I can't get all of them onto my Kobo. So that's upsetting. But honestly, is it that serious? No, I really don't need to be checking out that many ebooks anyways. I really need to be focusing on what I already own. Even more than any library books at all right now. Like, we can get back to being besties with the library when this TBR is under 500. I don't know if it's still that. I'll be honest, I don't know. But it's probably not far from that. So, I'm going to go get dressed in proper chill, hang out in bed, reading a book clothes, and eat my dinner. And that is the plan. Yeah, my brain is like broken from sitting there listening to that audiobook for literally 6.5 hours yesterday, just finishing that entire book in a day. That was crazy. But now I'm gonna have to find another audiobook though, because I got chores to do this weekend. But that's a March TBR problem, not a now. Not a now. Hi. What a little cutie. Settling in for the reading night. Hello, party people. I'm back. So I'm in my sprints with my patrons. It's a great little time. I don't know why I have so much energy considering it's Thursday, but I do. I surely do. And I realize it's because Thursday is like kind of my Friday. So I'm celebrating the fact that I made it. Can you believe? I can't. So I'm so excited to be in this head empty book. I got to be so honest with you. I am so excited for this for me. I was thinking about talking about Under the Same Stars, and I'm so self-conscious because I was like, I don't have enough to say about, like, that book just left me in awe, and I'm still thinking about it, and I just am like, I wish I had more, but I can't even elaborate. I know I'm gonna have to edit the heck out of that because I made no sense talking about it last night or this morning. I just know it in my soul. Ginger is behind you, by the by. When I don't use the tiny mic, you still get some Ginger ambiance back there. So, that's pretty nice. That's a good plus, I suppose, to me forgetting where it is. Have I already lost the tiny mic? I don't know. Tune in next time, probably. So, this is ridiculous. This is absolutely ridiculous. I love it. This is turning out to be my favorite thus far. And I think it's because it's the most domestic thrillery of the three of them. And when I say that, original Housemaid was fairly domestic thriller. But I would say Millie being the housemaid in that made it less of what I like in domestic thrillers. This is what I like. A catty neighbor. A weird as hell neighbor. What's going on there? Her husband apparently just has an issue keeping his shirt on. I'm talking about Enzo, like Millie's husband. Genuine concern she had was that he would hate the button-up shirt that she got him so much because it was just such a constraint that he would just take it off at this dinner that they're at their new neighbor's house. That's hilarious. I'm so sorry. That made me giggle. Because what do you actually even mean by that? That's so ridiculous. Like, I just think this woman is camp. And I can't explain it unless you already get it. And if you don't, you will. Just read some of it and then just watch some campy horror movies. I feel like this is, you know, how good horror should be a little campy. Like Grady Hendrix does campy horror so well. This is that, but unintentionally. I don't think Miss McFadden means to be this funny. I really don't. And over the top and just so good. But if you go into this with like the assumption of incredibly unserious things are about to unfold, you're gonna have a good time. I'm gonna tell you what, you're gonna have a good time. And I gotta also say, for some reason, I'm loving the way that this book is built. Like, this is so... It's a normal size thriller, but hers are usually like the pocket books almost. And look how it's like tiny. These edges are so, like, you could write a dissertation. You won't be able to. There's little substance, but you could if you wanted to. Someone should try it out. Whoa. I just read a random line. And it feels like foreshadowing, so we'll see. That's in 40 pages. But yeah, I'm already almost 80 pages into this because her books read so fast. I have to say, if you are in a slump, whether you are a thriller person or not, I gotta recommend her books because her writing style is so digestible. It is so quick and easy to read. It is just a fun, loosey-goosey little time. And genuinely, I forget that I'm reading, which is something that happens fairly infrequently for me. It happens a lot with YA fantasy and sci-fi specifically, because it's just so immersive and fun. But with this, I don't know what it is. It's also shockingly a great book. Like, she's a go-to pickup for me when I'm having a real bad anxious time. When the brain's gobbling. I go to Frida. I say, ring, 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 Frida. It's a bad time. What do you have for me? And she puts out 2 books a year. Because she knows I have at least 2 real bad episodes a year. And that's kind of true, actually. Both of those things. She does put out 2 books a year. And that's also true. I want to read The Inmate, The Boyfriend. Is it The Locked Room? That's what someone on Sprint just said. I read Never Lie, and I read The Coworker. I would say The Coworker is very much... It kind of reminds me of... What is that one with Anna Kendrick? A Simple Favor. It has... If you watched A Simple Favor, that movie is awful, but my partner and I were cackling in the theater at that. The Coworker reminds me of that, where it's like everyone is taking this very seriously, but I think Frida forgot to tell them it's not that serious. I mean, it is life or death, but whatever. And then Never Lie, that's the one I think where they get stuck in a cabin or stuck in a house that they're looking to buy, and then they find a bunch of tapes from a therapist that went missing. Why do I remember that? I didn't even like that book. Why do I remember that? I don't know. That's not for me to remember, but I do remember it. Someone wanted me to remember it. It was Frida. So, yeah. What can I say? Apparently 7 minutes worth, but what can I say? I'm going to get back to this little book. I'm going to do my daily 2 drinks. I did not finish this during the day like I normally do, just because I was distracted, okay? And testing days are not fun. So, yeah, there was that, but I'm gonna finish this, read this. I don't know. Hello. I actually ended up finishing this book right now. I'm about to go let this whiny boy behind you OUT one more time before bed. I don't know what is wrong, other than his toy is not currently where it needs to be, probably. But I actually really enjoyed the majority of this book. The end was just like, girl, what? And then the prologue or the epilogue, I was like, ah. So that was pretty much the roller coaster of this book. I don't have a lot of thoughts to share about it though, because it truly this series is just ridiculous. Someone on Sprint called it like a Tubi kind of series, and it's like Tubi, Shudder, like Lifetime. Just what are we doing? But I don't regret reading it. It was a good, fun, fast read. It definitely got me out of like the super emotional, I'm about to go into a reading slump mood that the Libba Bray book put me in. So that's good. But I guess now before I get to bed, because I have my tea my partner made me, I will pick up the next thriller that we have. And that's really the last book. I don't even know if we're going to finish it within the month of February, because the next book I need to finish is the book club book, but maybe. Who knows? The night is young. It's not. It's 10:30 and I'm tired.
Okay, hello. I actually checked out a book from the library on my Kobo, and I thought that still fits in this vlog. And it is not the first book I thought I'd be reading on this thing, because honestly, I didn't even think about reading this until I was just looking on Goodreads. But it is that time. You can't even see that. Let me rectify this. I'm going to show you this Kobo in all its glory in action. Here we go. Here we go, buddy. Oh. Okay. Well, that kind of just took that right out of there, didn't it? This is what I'm reading. That time I got drunk and saved a demon. I want to see how bright. It's probably going to be as bright as the sun itself. Good, great heavens. Yep. This is what I'm going to read. And it looks, I mean, so far it's been pretty funny. So, I am excited. What is that? I don't know. Anyways, I'm excited to keep reading. So, anyways, that is the book that I'm going to be reading tonight. Bray from Locked Booktition and Ashley on Instagram, Bookish Realm. On YouTube, I always forget the new channel name, so I'm going to put it in my description of this video. But they are hosting a joint Patreon readathon weekend, and I thought, you know what? Might as well join in on the festivities. So I'm going to continue reading this, and when I stop, if I'm kind of in the mood for a thriller, I think I'll pick up the last one that we have for the library TBR. If not, maybe I'll check another book out from the library on my Kobo. Not really sure which one yet. Did I mention I have a Kobo? Because I do. I have a Kobo. I love saying the name. It's so cute. Okay, so I am on page 228 out of 372 already. This book reads so fast. So what's happening is our main character, so this is a cozy fantasy romance, and this is the kind of cozy fantasy I can get behind because there's an actual freaking plot, which is refreshing. But I did not have any clue what this was about. I'm going to be really honest. So our main character lives on a cinnamon farm, and that's what she brings to the village. And she and her family, they're just living on this farm, okay? We'll just go with that. She gets drunk as she is out with her friends one night and stumbles home, stumbles upon a demon, tussles with the demon, gets some cinnamon on the demon because she whacks him in the head with a cinnamon stick, and it alleviates him of some kind of like magical thing that had taken over him and made him lose his mind, and he couldn't think straight, and he was like being like on a rage or whatever. So he then finds her house and enlists her to help him break this curse that is over demons. And that's what we're doing. We're just bit-bopping along. I'm going to tell you what, this is a very fast-moving book. She is not wasting any time. And this, to me, is what I would classify as a romance that is fantasy. This is not a fantasy that is a romance, if that makes sense. Because the fantasy world is really just kind of the scene and where they're at and part of the story, but it is not the plot. Like, it being fantastical isn't the plot, if that makes sense. It's kind of like assistant to the villain, actually, both in the humor and in the balance, I think. Although this has more romance. This is like a more forward romance for sure. It's very interesting. I don't know. I'm flying through it, so obviously, very easy read. I will say that. I didn't really foresee myself finishing another book in February, but here we are. I don't know what that says about the state of the noggin, but that seems like someone else's problem. Not current Olivia. So I guess I'm going to finish this. And I think I'm going to continue on with this series. I don't know if I'll do it right now, because I like to find good palette cleanser series to have in between things. So the new Cozy Mystery series that I found in the latest Read It or Unhaul It episode, I will be reading those in between big old fantasy books, because I really want to get through my own TBR this year, right? And a lot of that is chunky epic fantasy, and they're more backlist titles, which is fine. I don't care about that. Granted, there's a lot of new releases that I am really wanting to read, but trying to stay strong. Stay strong. I will do it. But I got my water. I got my book. We're gonna get into it, and then I don't know what's gonna happen. Maybe we'll get into The Inheritance, which is the last thriller that I have on my little TBR for this video, I guess. I do have other library holds out. They're just not due back right away, as these ones are. But The Inheritance currently, well, last time I checked, wasn't due back yet. But it may be at this point. I don't know. Ooh. Yeah, I don't know. We'll have to see. Okay, so I ended up finishing the book. I read that in like 2.5 hours. That was so speedy. It was fun. I gave it 4 stars. It was just like a fun, silly, goofy read. And I do recommend. It was just like a good time. I loved it. I will be continuing on, but I'm going to save it, like I said, for like palette cleanser kind of books. And I think I'm actually going to get into one of the new book box books that I got, and that'll be in the weekly vlog coming to y'all very soon. So if I do end up starting The Inheritance this weekend, I'll let you know, but right now I'm not really sure if that's what I'm going to do.
Hear the birds and see the sun. Side by side our fears are done. Oh, the good times just begun. Oh, we know what we have, let's hold on tight.